Here are top 10 tips you can use to get better at the Darklord. Now, I know this isn't the Dracula guide, but I did want to post something that can help Dracula players while I do work on the Dracula guide in the background that I use in my matches and help me a lot in every trial. Disclaimer about the Dracula guide, it is still a bit away. I had some live stuff come up, but I promise I am still working on it, and especially with the Dracula changes. You know what's crazy? I literally worked on the add-on guide, or I worked on the add-on section in the very first part, and all of his add-ons got changed, so I basically had to scrap that entire. Anyway, number 1 is to use Hellfire in elevation. Most people use Hellfire at basic loops to get hits and whatnot, but some people don't know that Hellfire is actually an elevated attack too, meaning it can go up and down obstacles. If you use your Hellfire above or below obstacles, it'll go up and down as you please, so as long as it doesn't meet the threshold height limit. An example I really like of this is on Guard Under Joy. There is a side house palette that survivors have that is really good that can extend chases by a good amount. So being able to Hellfire over this before they even make it or as they make it is one of my favorite things about Hellfire. And being able to do this on multiple maps like Yamaoka, the little temple height temple thing is really good as well. That is one of my favorite spots. Number 2, pay attention to the grass. While you're in bad form, you cannot see survivors, but you can hear breathing, injured sounds, and etc. Similar to Spirit with their phasing is to pay attention to the grass while it's moving while you're in bad form, so this will give you a good idea where the survivors are at, especially if they have perks that have their scratch marks that would normally give you a harder time to track while you're in bad form. Ghost Notes and Lightweight is very meta with Sprint Burst, so this is a very good tip to pay attention to, since their scratch marks literally disappear instantly with Ghost Notes and Lightweight. Number 3, use the mist to your advantage. One thing I never see anyone talk about Dracula is to use the mist while transforming to your advantage. What I like to do when swapping primarily from vampire form to wolf form or wolf form to vampire form, you can zigzag your body while the mist animation is playing to throw off survivors and mind game them that way. This works really well with add-ons like Traveler's Hat, as you can recover quickly from your form cooldown and can immediately attack them. Keep in mind it's best to do this with wolf and vampire form, as they have a 1 second transition time versus bad form having a 1.5 second transition time, so the survivors won't have much time to react to that. Number 4, use bat form to deny area control. If you're chasing a survivor in a dead zone where you know there's no palatat and they're trying to run away or hold W for example, swap to bat form and teleport where they're trying to go to deny them from making it to the area before they do. This alone will either give you a free hit if they do trying to barge through to make it to that loop, or if they're injured, they'll have no choice but to run away, because if they do run towards you, they will just go down. This also works really well if you know that they're in a dead zone and you hook them far deep into a dead zone. So if they do try and run away with their base kit endurance, if you teleport to an area where you know they're going to go to before their base kit endurance would expire, then you can basically zone them away from that area. Number 5, play around your cooldowns. One important thing about Dracula is that he has tons of tools to his advantage for each possible situation. It's important you play with each of these forms during a chase to keep the survivors on edge. If you get a nice Hellfire attack and you see them hold W, immediately swap to bat form and deny them that area, and then swap to wolf form, get a nice wolf pounce, constantly using your power which each of these forms, while the others are on cooldowns, allow you to constantly have attacks ready, and once you use one of them, the other will be ready, giving you quick chases and downs. Number 6 is leaving pallets down. A very crucial thing about bat form is to constantly have mobility on the survivors and pressure them with your map presence. Some maps kind of deny this in what you're given in terms of teleport destinations like the game, as you're only given 2 teleport vaults on the top floor that are very split away from each other. Some maps can favor you in this aspect. It's still important to leave these very weak pellets up so you can have an alternative to get closer to survivors, especially if a generator is being very close to being repaired next to the pallet that you leave down, rather than a window being further from the generator or where you're trying to get to, for example. Number 7, grab a scent orb before you transform. Scent orbs play a vital role into Dracula's wolf form, and while yes, there is a passive cooldown of 20 seconds, and you do want to swap to vampire form for Hellfire after a nice pounce attack, or if you miss for example, grab the scent orb and then swap to vampire form, as while you're pressuring them with your Hellfire, you'll have more of your wolf pounce cooldown back, rather than waiting the full 20 seconds for your pounce to come back, or even still be on a cooldown if you do miss your Hellfire attack. If you know you're going to get them down before a new scent orb drops, then you don't really need to do this. You could just obviously just M1 them or just get them down, whichever how you please. But this is really good in case you do want to pressure them with both of your forms at the same time. Number 8 is to not hold your Hellfire for too long. While Hellfire is one of the strongest zoning tools in the game right now, and even myself advocate for holding your Hellfire to zone, it's also important not to hold it for too long if you know they have obstacles to work with. Not only are you giving them free distance to work with, as now you move slower with Hellfire in this patch versus last patch at a whopping 3.68 meters a second from 3.8 meters a second, you will also give them more time to react to your Hellfire, as you're holding it for longer, giving them more time to dodge your Hellfire. Number 9 is what I like to call the blight pounce. As you know, the Blight, he can bump into an object and a dash after. Similar to Dracula, you can collide into an object to cancel your first dash and get a second bounce faster if you see a survivor is going to make it to window or pallet. Keep in mind, each dash is only 5 meters, so you want to be careful how you do this, as if you were to immediately end your first pounce and not get value out of the 5 meters on your first dash, your second pounce probably won't be enough to reach the survivor, so it's best to close in on the end of your first dash and then cancel it onto the second dash, giving you more distance and be able to get that hit quicker on the survivor. Number 10, spam bat form. If you're having a really hard time finding survivors in bat form in case they're stealthing really hard, you can swap in and out of bat form to see if you can find survivors that way. When you swap out of bat form to any form, survivors models will have this burning effect, similar to Spirit when she taps her face to try and find a survivor like this. This is very important in case the game is getting very close and they're stealthing to get tons of pressure on you. This is also really good when it comes down to door 50-50 plays and you try to find them that way as well. That should cover it for the 10 tips you can use to help play better with the Darklord. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy and would like to see more Dracula content, I do stream live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Spleak. Other than that, hope you guys all have a nice day.